So, game 3 at Plymouth, second day. So, having struggled in the Indian Pakistani steppes against the Kushans, of course, game 3 we end up fighting the Greco-Bactrians, sort of the same army, same sort of components, and another test for the gladiators. So let's see what happens in this one. Again, a sort of fairly open table. We've got some hills and stuff on this side, but what it looks like here is that we've actually managed to generate a complete piece of terrain, or sorry, complete piece of open space, which is exactly as wide as the combat elements of the opposing army, which is not really ideal. They've got a couple of elephants, 4 pikemen, a load of cataphracts in there, and that's kind of a lot really, a skirmish screen in front of it. But the cataphracts are pretty deadly, the pike are pretty tough against my legions, the elephants are always scary, and what I've sort of done here with getting the gladiators and bits and pieces over this side, legionaries in the middle, and the elephant over here. The elephant's in sort of exactly the wrong place. He doesn't want to fight 2 elephants because he's mediocre. He doesn't want to fight pikemen, that's not good. He needs to get in front of these guys, whereas this lot, as we've seen in 2 previous games, are not great against cataphracts. They need to get somewhere else. So first up, I'm kind of immediately redeploying, and if you remember, these cavalry are actually part of this command here with 1, 2 Thracians, 1, 2 Romans, the elephant. So what it appears what I've done here is take 2 units of legionaries round here, take this over from here and shove it straight at the cataphracts, move the cavalry round to give myself some protection on this flank as well. This is just complete redeployment at the very start of the game, and subsequently I want those even further across. I want to pull up more reserves here. Really, I want legions into this. I'll take legions and Thracians sort of into the elephants possibly, and these guys want to hang back, and we can just use the cavalry to put some pressure on here. But everything's in completely the wrong place. This is a real test of Roman command and control, and that brilliant +2 competence is going to be really needed in terms of generalship here. So what do the Greco-Bactrians look like? I think you've just seen it. 4 pikes, 2 elephants, 3 skirmishers there, 4 Iranian cataphracts and the light cavalry bow in front of them, then 2 more cataphracts, a light cavalry javelin, and a heavy cavalry impact elite, which is somewhere over there, another dangerous kind of cavalryman. Not really what these guys want to be fighting in the open at all. He'd run straight over them. So yeah, that's the army, and here we go. They're rolling forwards gently in a big long line. I'm still trying to do this reorganization. You can see there's another unit that's been peeled off here and shoved around the back. Somebody's joined in with the elephant, but this is a right mess. That's probably, I'm trying to think where the crap one is. Where's the mediocre one? I can't even see him. He must be somewhere off to this side, the one with the blue shield. So you've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the proper Romans here. So facing up Thracians against this, not ideal, but possible. These guys into the pike, that's what they want to do. He wants to get into the pike. Just shove this into these cataphracts and try and slow them down. Can these guys get into the rough terrain? Possibly. There's a heavy infantryman who's going to have to take something on the chin there to allow the gladiators to get into this bit of rough terrain. The cavalry's going to have to dick about a bit, but I've just about kind of maybe sort of done it-ish. I don't know, it's tricky. And these guys are in front shooting me up. So look at these. This is Tony's army. Some fabulous pikemen, some fabulous multi-layer painting there. You may have been wondering if those are stickers. You can tell they're not. They're hand painted, which is rather fabulous. So it almost seems a shame to come to blows with these guys. Even the pikes have got kind of a wood effect thing on it, which I've only just seen now looking at this grave photo. So here you go. They're coming in. What we look like we've just about done here. Romans into that. This does give the elephant a cataphract option. Being next to an elephant helps this guy. These guys have had to come up, I think, and I've managed to pin that guy at the end. He's the general, he's the impact cavalryman, which does look like the gladiators might get into the rough terrain and be safe and cause some sort of problems. But these cataphracts, I'm just sitting back from them as long as I can, even though it's going to give them overlaps here and bonuses. And there looks like there's the legions into pike, but this guy's still lagging behind. He really needs to be here. Otherwise, there's a double overlap that this pikeman can create. He's just a bit too late, but I'm just frantically stuffing everything into every gap possible, really. And look, there they go. These are my guys getting ready to see those pikemen at close up, and the generals are just going, guys, come on, fill in this gap, get everything sort of jammed together, get ready for the combat. And let's see what's happened. The pikes have lurched in, as they must. They've got advantage of overlaps here. The fact my line is bowed makes it slightly difficult. They've chosen to get the overlap here. On this guy that looks to be a general, you can see the trumpet there with that one. So yeah, he must be a general. That pikeman's gone in because this guy really doesn't want to be fighting the elephant. So that's a good advantage for me. The fact he's a general should even things up. Good old push of pike there. Their elephants will be in combat here. Maybe I've got a bonus, and the Cataphracts are still not in, but the generals had a go at my heavy infantry, which is not too bad now. Well, of all the things there, the generals sort of the one I prefer to fight in a way, or at least to not prefer to fight. And these guys are still kind of well out of it. And you can see this Victrix elephant with this somewhat anachronistic shield. These are all magnetized. I can swap it out for other shields. You might see that in a subsequent battle report. They're ready to take the charge of the Cataphracts, who are looking ready to get in them, while the Legionaries are fighting manfully with the pikemen. And well, that's a pretty colourful shot, isn't it, really? Good for the iPhone photo. This is back to my normal camera. So what's happened here? The Cataphracts have decided to avoid. They bottled it, fighting the elephant, quite right. One's hung back. Two have gone in and immediately done some pretty serious damage. Black is 2 hits on those guys, even with the overlap and the elephant effect. They've still clattered in. That looks like a general with a hand-painted shield there. We're taking a couple of hits here, 1, 2 there, which is kind of so-so. Elephants against Thracians, I'm pushing through with light foot because they've got a bit disconnected there, but everybody is now fighting. This is a real close quarters sort of stabbing and piking and thrusting sort of battle. And there you go. Someone's knocked a hole there. The pikemen are still pushing back, pushing onto those legions, and there's even some light infantry on light infantry combat over there as well. The Thracians swinging their Romphirs against the elephants. The elephants are not too happy about it. Look at that guy with his shifty eyes as well. He's pretty chilled, though, I guess, and he's ready to sort of stab people. And yeah, these guys are already chopping. These are Victrix. They're a real mix of stuff here, actually. I think they're cloaks from the Dacians. The infantry bodies are from the Greek light infantry. These Romphir type things are actually scimitar swords from either the Victrix or the Gripping Beast, or possibly even the Fireforge Arab cavalry that are stuck on, sort of cut off there, and that's a bit of a cut down spear as well to give them kind of a mad old thing. So there's all sorts of colour and stuff going on there. So this combat is now developing. Boom! I've got one of the elephants. He's exploded. He's hit the Thracians. There's not many markers there. I can only see 1 green marker there. 3 hits on the general. That's pretty catastrophic. 3 hits on him. 3 hits there. 3 hits there. These red markers are lovely. Some of my spare LBMS shield transfers, but I don't really want to see 1, 2, 3, 4 units of legions really almost at the death, and not much in the way of reserves, and the elephant's still not engaged. The pike and the Cataphracts are really grinding me down there. Nothing really going particularly well in that combat. And there's the combat from the other side. It looks much more colourful. I think this is possibly an earlier shot because the markers haven't all sprung out yet, but it just gives you a sort of top of the pike's eye view of what's going on. And boom, one of the Thracians loses, one of the Thracians wins. The elephant rushes forward into a kind of traumatic way. There's the casualties for the Greco-Bactrians, but he's happy. The man with the shifty eyes is very happy about that. He's got through, and the pikeman's going to be stabbing someone unarmoured in the rear with that. And there you go. That's my elephant ready to go forwards. I think this is a game earlier in the game, but again, another bright thing to see how close they are to those pikemen. And what happens here is my elephant just runs forward, starts chasing things away, aiming to try and get into the back and do some damage, because if he stays there, he's just going to get overwhelmed. These guys are still just about hanging on, but still 3 hits. There's only 1 meeple there, 1 green meeple there. No real damage to these Cataphracts, even though I'm sort of pushing past and looking to try and get ready to do something to them. But I just want him out the way, doing something. And then boom, 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 boom. There's lots of legionaries suddenly removed, lots of hits, another red hit there, that's on 2. This is all pretty catastrophic now. They're going to be able to get into the flanker mine. The army, even after that frantic rearrangement, just hasn't stood up in combat. The armoured pikemen, sorry, the armoured legionaries haven't done for the pikemen. If they win in the first turn on an evens combat, they're in a good place, but clearly they didn't, and the better quality painting of the pikemen has probably done for them in the end. And that was it. That's the end, with the solid mass of the Roman army being crushed by the Cataphracts and the pikemen, and also the elephants of the Greco-Bactrians.